Hi everyone, my name is Carrie Noble and I'm the Major Gifts Officer with DoveLewis Animal Hospital. I hope that you're all doing well. And this is Bella, so hello from both me and Bella to you and your pets in your home right now. I am just here to say thank you so much for being members of the Werner Legacy Society at DoveLewis and supporting the hospital and our work. You know, we really couldn't do the life-saving care and the emergency and critical care that we do without supporters like you and animal lovers like you out there in the community. And yeah, I just wanted to say thank you so much for whatever, your personal story is for why you support DoveLewis and whatever your goals are and that you hope to accomplish with your support. Whether you want to make sure that every family is able to get emergency care for their pet, no matter of the financial circumstances that they may find themselves in, or perhaps you want to make sure that there is a safety net available 24/7 in the community for stray pets and wildlife in our community. Whatever you really want to accomplish for animals and whatever future that you envision for them, we are so grateful to you for all of the personal time and energy and love and support that you have poured into this organization. So thank you very much from our hearts to yours. We're really bummed that we weren't able to get together with you this spring for our annual in-person brunch, but we are pretty pleased that some of the panelists who were going to be there, Ron Morgan, Shana OMeara, Dr. Toby Richter, and Kelsey Reinhauer, are here to join us today to share a little bit about what they would have talked about at the panel and just fill you in about what's going on at DoveLewis through their eyes. So we'll also play a special video for you featuring Sheldon, a dog whose life was saved thanks to supporters like you and the work at DoveLewis, including transfusions from our own blood bank. If you've already seen the video either through the recent online auction or social media, feel free to skip ahead, but make sure that you stick around for some final words from Ron and a final thank you message. So I hope that you and your loved ones, including your pets, are all doing well, staying healthy, staying safe. We look forward to being able to get together with you in the future, perhaps for a tour. We would love to show you what's going on and just what you are building for the community with your support. And until that time, take care and thank you very much from all of us at DoveLewis.
Hi, I'm Ron Morgan, the CEO at DoveLewis, and I want to thank all of our Dr. Richard Werner Legacy Society members for joining us for this virtual get-together. It's not how we wanted to celebrate your support of our organization, but during these very difficult times, we want to make sure we connect with as many of our supporters via any means we can. So thank you for spending some time with us today. I really kind of want to begin my remarks by just recognizing Dr. Werner, who recently passed away. Dick was a very special person to all of our community, as the main founder of DoveLewis with the Lewis family back in the early 70s. Dick and several other veterinarians had the smarts to figure out how to start an emergency hospital and also, more importantly, to do it as a nonprofit. I had the incredible benefit of getting to know Dr. Werner over the last 17 years, and it's really unusual for someone in my position to have the honor of getting to spend time with the person who founded their organization. And Dick and I were able to forge a really special relationship over the last nearly 2 decades. And my heart goes out to Louise, his wife, all of his family, and certainly the veterinary community. So many of you who are part of our Legacy Society also knew Dr. Werner and got to know him over the last years. And I will miss him deeply forever, and am indebted to his advice and his friendship and his stewardship of our organization. I want to make sure that before we get too much into this program tonight, that we all take a moment to think about Dr. Werner and his family and the gifts that he gave to DoveLewis and our community. He was a very special man, and we will all miss him deeply. For all of you, again, thank you for your thoughts about DoveLewis and your estate plans. It's a wonderful thing to know that people want to think about the future of our organization when planning for their own future of giving. Gifts from our Legacy Society make a world of difference at DoveLewis. And so you're going to make a difference for our organization and our community for years to come. We have significant needs at DoveLewis, and right now during this pandemic, those needs are going to be in demand even more so. We know that the next several months are going to be really challenging for our organization, but with your support, both currently and in the future, we know that we can get through this together. So I want to thank you for joining us for this program. I hope you learn a little bit about the inside of what's been going on at DoveLewis in the last 4 to 6 weeks. One thing I'm really proud of is that we learned how we very quickly could change our operations on a dime to meet the challenges of COVID-19. I'm very proud of our leadership team and our board of directors and our staff. We're open 24/7 still. We haven't missed a beat, but we're doing things almost completely differently. So we're here for you, and I hope you enjoy the information you're going to hear today. And I'll circle back toward the end of this presentation and share you a little bit more about what's going on at DoveLewis from my eyes. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Shana OMeara. I'm the Chief Medical Officer here at DoveLewis. I wanted to thank you all for being a member of our Legacy Society. It's people like you that make it possible for us to do the work that we do. So I wanted to talk with you guys a little bit about what we're doing here at the hospital during the COVID-19 pandemic. So we've had to make some changes to our hospital operations in order to make sure that our staff and that our clients are safe. Because we are considered essential employees as veterinarians, we're still allowed to practice medicine, but we're limiting our care to only urgent and emergent patients. So what that means to us is that our emergency service is up and running, busier than ever. Our specialty services have somewhat limited appointments, only for urgent patients. We've started seeing most of our patients carside, which means that we send our staff out to collect the patient from our clients who stay outside of the hospital and then bring them inside for an exam. We do most of our communication over the telephone now, but we have some clients who don't have a car or simply aren't comfortable waiting in the car with their pet. And so for those clients, we'll put them in an exam room or space them appropriately throughout our waiting room. But really our goal is to make a visit to the hospital as risk-free as possible for our staff and for our clients.
Hi there, this is Toby Richter. I'm one of the surgeons at DoveLewis. I'm also the director of the surgical services, and I'm the safety manager, which is a little bit of an interesting responsibility in this time of the coronavirus. We've definitely had to change some things about how we get pets and people through our hospital. It's certainly brought out a lot of really amazing teamwork across all of our hospital. The people who are able to work at home and how they are still contributing, and the people who are working in the hospital and how they are managing to connect with our clients in a time when we can't be in the same room with them very comfortably. It's certainly brought a lot of new challenges, but some pretty rewarding times as well. But I'm here today and on my front deck instead of in a great place sharing a meal with you, just to say thank you so much for your donations and your continued support of DoveLewis. You've heard it from a lot of different places, but we absolutely could not provide the service that we do without your continued support and in all of its forms. The verbal support, the thank yous, the posters, everything, and of course the financial support is absolutely phenomenal. This coronavirus challenge, while it has certainly tested our ability to be flexible and think outside of our normal routines, it also is just driving home the amazing opportunity to continue to serve the community and do our jobs in this time of lots of question marks, and thank you so much for helping us do that.
Hi, my name is Kelsey and I'm the blood bank coordinator here at DoveLewis. It is my job to coordinate and take donations from our 156 donors to continue to supply DoveLewis and the animals in our community with the blood products they need. This need has continued through the COVID-19 pandemic, which is one of the many reasons why DoveLewis is still open to serve the pets in our community. Pets are still suffering from traumas and diseases that lead to needing the blood products that we're able to provide. DoveLewis is proud to have one of the largest community-based veterinary blood banking programs in the Pacific Northwest. We are relied upon to continue functioning during this time, not just by the animals in our community, but as well as the United States as a whole. I have recently sent blood products to California, Colorado, Alabama, Florida, Alaska, just to name a few. At DoveLewis, we will perform about 700 transfusions in our hospital this year. When you combine that with the nearly 300 units of blood products we will have sent to other clinics, that's about 1,000 animals served by our 156 superheroes. We simply couldn't do this without the support of wonderful people like you. Thank you for being part of DoveLewis. I hope you're as proud as I am of how beautifully the leaders of DoveLewis have guided us through this tough time. I'm repeatedly impressed by their efforts to keep employees and pet parents safe and continue to provide excellent care. I look forward to meeting many of you in the future. Thanks.
Sheldon's favorite toy is a racquetball. Sheldon loves racquetballs. Sheldon also loves all of his stuffed animals. Sheldon means to us family and happiness, also goofiness. We got Sheldon in 2015, pretty early in our relationship, and I think he is sort of a representation of our love.
It's just been us two and him for the last few years. He's definitely our little guy.
Sorry, are we boring you? It was just a week before our wedding when we first noticed Sheldon was bleeding from his mouth. I just assumed that he'd probably cut his mouth on something.
By the next morning, there's blood everywhere. There's blood on the carpets, on the floor, on the couch. I walked in and he just didn't move from the floor. He looked at me and just put his head back down. And that was really when I knew it's affecting him.
We took Sheldon to DoveLewis 4 days before our wedding.
Sheldon was diagnosed with immune-mediated thrombocytopenia, which essentially means that his body started attacking all the platelets that he has to the point where he couldn't stop bleeding.
The disease that Sheldon had, it was life-threatening. He was hospitalized in our ICU for several days. It took a while for Sheldon to respond to immunosuppressive therapy, and during that time we have to provide blood transfusions so that his body can survive while we're waiting for his body to respond to therapy. And throughout that time he needed 3 blood transfusions until he was able to respond to therapy and stop bleeding so much on his own.
You know, it's supposed to be the best week of your life, right? Seeing him suffering through that entire time it made it rough.
Going into our wedding, we knew he's in really good hands. There's nothing we can do for him right now. We weren't out of the woods yet, but it was looking hopeful.
We wrote our own vows, and I had written my own vows a couple weeks before, and then I rewrote them about our experience that week.
This week has been a whirlwind of emotions. Seeing one of our family members struggling this week has put everything into perspective. As we sat in Sheldon's little pen at DoveLewis on Wednesday night, I realized how truly lucky I was to have such an amazing partner for this life. It was one of the lowest points I've had in the past few years, and yet there was no one else that I would have rather been with in that pen.
Sheldon's disease was really serious, and the ability to get blood products is what made it possible for him to survive. Sheldon received 3 different transfusions from 3 different donors, Archie, Olive, and Kashi. We're so lucky to have a blood bank at DoveLewis because it allows us to give blood products to patients on an emergent basis. So the minute a patient walks in the door and they need a blood transfusion or some other blood product, we're able to provide that care right away.
After our ceremony, I had a text from DoveLewis that said, Sheldon's platelets are now in the 200,000 range. He can be discharged tomorrow. I can't even tell you how excited we were. Once our night had kind of officially shut down, we hopped right on over to DoveLewis and we got our wedding picture with Sheldon.
He had been through so much. It didn't really matter that it was 2 a.m. We needed to see him and be supportive of him because he's been so supportive of us.
I would like to say thank you to all of the donors that made our entire experience at DoveLewis possible. Without them, we wouldn't have Sheldon.
To all the donors, I would say thank you so much for your support. It's because of you guys that we're able to provide top-of-the-line care, from just a pet that comes in from a broken nail to a pet that needs dialysis. We're able to do those things because of your support.
Now that Sheldon is doing okay, we are very excited to go on more of our outdoor adventures and to continue to give Sheldon a lifetime supply of racquetballs. There's just no better place for Sheldon than DoveLewis.
Hi, that was a wonderful story about Sheldon and Sheldon's family and the incredible care he received at DoveLewis, and in particular our blood bank. That was just one of my favorite stories from over the years, and so I hope you enjoyed it. Without doubt, without the support of our community, we would not have been able to support and take care of Sheldon like we did with our blood bank products. And it's really important to remember that so many of the things that make DoveLewis special are because of the wonderful supporters that we have, like yourselves in the community. We're a very special organization, not just in Portland, but in the United States. And we're really proud of the work we do, not just with our medical care, but our incredible programs and our teaching mission that reaches people all over the world. So I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart for making that possible and for thinking about us in your future plans. This has been an incredible period of time, the last 6 weeks at DoveLewis. As I mentioned earlier, we made changes very quickly to make sure that we could stay open 24/7 to meet the needs of our patients and our clients. We needed to keep our staff safe, at the same time making sure that we were there, that we were open. We took a lot of pains to make sure that we could adapt as things changed. I remember it seemed like the early part of this, every 24 to 48 hours, something was changing in the CDC guidelines or information we have about maybe how we should operate. And I'm so proud that we were able to adapt and change and be available for you and everybody in our community. The rest of this year, we hope to weather this situation and continue to be stable and survive really as an organization. And we're positive we'll be able to do that. We don't know what the future holds, but we want to get back on track with all of our plans to expand our veterinary medical center, to add new services to meet the demands of our clients in terms of hours of operation and services that we offer. We have a lot of things that we still want to do at DoveLewis. We have big plans to make sure that we continue to grow with our community and the needs of our pet-loving community. I think we learned more than ever during this pandemic how important pets are in our lives. Certainly for people who became more isolated than they ever thought they would, sometimes their pets are their only source of comfort and love. So it's really made the human-animal bond even stronger in our lives. And I want you to know that DoveLewis will continue to work hard night and day for you and to honor the fact that you thought about our organization and your future plans. We owe you that, and we'll never stop trying to meet the expectations you have of us as an organization. I'm so honored to know so many of you and to know your stories, your Dove stories about why DoveLewis is important to you. And I can't wait for the day when we can get back together face to face in a room together and share stories again. So thank you again for being with us today and taking a few moments to learn about what's going on at DoveLewis right now. I wish you all the best in your own health for you and your family, and I hope to see you soon. Thank you.